Hello! We're gonna be doing, I'm super excited about this makeup tutorial. But first, please tell me what you think of this backdrop, because I think I like it. So we're gonna be doing a makeup tutorial today for Charli XCX. It's gonna be kind of like an amalgam of her looks a little bit, but I have one in particular that I am gonna be using as my main reference. So I prepped my face with my Tatcha water, whatever, and kind of regret that, just so you know. I feel like it made my skin a little too dewy. But for my foundation, I'm using About Face, which is, it felt like the right vibe for a makeup look that is inspired by Charli XCX, because it's kind of like a medium buildable coverage. You can really sheer it out. It's the perfect tone for my skin. Just a great formula all around. It's very comfortable, but it wears really well. So I am applying this with a damp sponge, which is my favorite way to do it, but you can obviously use a brush, however you want to do it. My earring got infected and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. No more piercings for Alex. So I'm going to be using the Dalba setting mist. I wanted, or spray serum. I wanted to make sure I was saying that correctly. If you saw one of my recent tutorials about flawless base makeup and making it last, how to achieve glowy skin that will actually last, this has been one of my favorite things to do. I talked about in that video that you can do this with like pretty much any spray. You can use a setting spray, you can use a skincare spray, whatever works for your skin. But I really wanted the skin to look like skin, which is why I'm doing this. I'm putting a little bit extra effort into making it look like skin. Today, I'm going to be not bronzing. I'm going to be just contouring my face, okay? So for the upper part of my face, and if you missed my bronzer versus contour video, I will link it above because it is extremely helpful. So I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Fawn Contour for my cheekbones, and obviously I'm using her as a reference. So when I do this, I try to create the essence of someone's makeup look while, trying to maintain my technique for my face shape. I am pretty lucky that I have a relative, like Charli XCX and I have a very similar face shape. So I can employ a lot of the same things that she is doing to my face. If you don't look anything like her, then you're gonna wanna make sure that you're contouring for your face shape. So I'm not trying to look extremely bronzy because she really just doesn't do that. Like her vibe is very like grunge. I'm not trying too hard. I don't care. And yet she still looks like beautiful. Her skin still looks glowy. It still looks flawless. So that's really what I'm trying to achieve here. Just using my like contour tricks to kind of enhance and shape my face so that everything looks the way that I want it to. I don't know that I've spoken about this much. I've put on a little bit of weight, so the jawline contour is kind of like a necessity for me right now. I would say that's the big difference between my face shape and Charli's as of right now. And I kind of toned down the jawline contour. I don't know. You obviously don't have to. It's a security blanket for me. I'm keeping my brows very simple. You'll see that I'm kind of like moving my brow hairs into really, expose the sparse areas. And as always, especially with my eyebrows, they are quite light at the arch and the tail. So I'm going in and filling that in particular, but I am following her shape. I want them to look natural, but like a little undone, but also like a little bit bitchy, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the vibe. Brush, brush, brush. Want to make sure that you're brushing them into place so that you can really see all those areas that are super sparse. And then I'm just going to go in and do some like final filling with my pencil. I am going to go in much later to use a brow pen just because I felt like I needed that after I set my eyebrows. This is my process. I like to do my brows throughout my makeup look. I don't know, there's something about it that I feel like I can't do them like all at the end and I can't do them all at the beginning. So don't feel bad if your process is not like other people's, or if you feel like other people are doing their makeup in a specific order and you're not. Do what works for you, okay? I really wanted to, I feel like I kind of nailed her brows. Like I feel like I really got it down, the shape and everything with mine. Going in with my sponge, doing a little bit of cleanup because I made that a little angry, too angry. Now I am going to be contouring just the lower lip, not the upper lip, right? I was like, am I about to contradict myself? And I do, when I do these looks, I do like to kind of try and make my nose look as much like the other person's. Again, I'm trying to create the essence, the vibe, but you don't have to do that, obviously. So you don't necessarily have to follow all of the tricks that I'm doing in this makeup tutorial. If you contour your nose a certain way, do it the way that it works for you. We all have very, very different face shapes, okay? I probably wouldn't have contoured my nose this way if I wasn't like specifically trying to make myself look very much like Charli. Blend, 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 whatever. You know this part. You've seen it a million times. If you're new, I'm blending. You know what I mean? I took my time on this also. Now I'm going in with, I wasn't entirely sure which color I wanted to use. I kind of jumped from like darker colors to lighter colors of the new Lisa Eldridge concealer pencils to do a little bit of spot concealing. I started off with one that was a little bit more like warm olive. I think it's number 4. And then I went in with a lighter color on top just to kind of like really camouflage. So layering is really nice. And these really stay put. I will say, I did put it in my inner corner. I was using it like in other areas of the face. I don't know how much I love it for that area, just because for me, it tends to be a little bit more dry. If you have a spot that's like really, really dry, you want to make sure that it's very, very well hydrated, which is typical of any other, pinpoint concealing, but you don't have the advantage of it being a liquid and that extra hydration with these pencils. So just keep that in mind. But I'm just going into all of the little areas of my face that I want to kind of give a little bit of a highlight to, that I want to add a little extra concealing to. And this really allows me to, work in really, really small areas, because Charli's skin just looks so much like skin. So I'm really trying to keep my skin looking that way. I don't want to be piling on coverage. Okay, I am going to do a little bit of color correcting underneath my eyes using NARS Nougatine. Just a little bit of warmth, because I wanted to do a small amount, because it doesn't really look like she doesn't really have dark circles like I do. But I do want to make sure that I'm concealing, because she does look very bright, especially in this image that I have up here in the corner. So I'm trying this new, not new, it's the Natasha Denona concealer, and I haven't used this in a really, really long time, so I kind of wanted to give it a shot. It's a beautiful concealer, great coverage. I really liked this color. Everything is linked down below, obviously, because I don't remember colors or names of anything. And I'm doing a teeniest bit of highlighting. It's a little bit lighter than everything that's going on my face. It's a little bit more neutral to kind of like emulate the colors that she has going on. And I'm really just adding like the teeniest amount. Like, you can see shape and highlighting sort of happening to the face, but I'm really going in with my sponge and blending it into the skin and making sure that it's all like super seamless, so that it just doesn't look like Kardashian highlighted, you know what I mean? And then finally I'm going underneath my eyes, and you'll notice that I'm really like buffing it into the eyes. I'm not trying to maintain like a ton of coverage, again, because I want this to be nice and light and wearable and just look like light effort. Then I'm going in and setting with my sponge and also the mist. And then I'm going to go in and set with a powder with the sponge, which I kind of regret. I'm using my Huda Beauty Pound Cake powder, which I love. I saw somebody else doing this with the sponge, and I was like, I'm going to give that a shot. I thought it would be good for this look, but I kind of regret it. It really settled into my lines. So I'm going to, from now on, I'm going to stick to my puff. I like the puff. I think it's better. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. If it works for you, fantastic. You can give it a shot. Different things work for different people, but I don't know. My under eye anatomy is just very, 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 I have a lot of loose skin. You can see me here trying to navigate. I'm like, oh, I don't want this to settle into lines, So just keep that in mind if you happen to have that problem. And then I'm taking this around to the rest of the face. I didn't mind it for the rest of the face, but I think that, especially with the Tatcha cream, the water cream, it didn't really like mattify. I ended up having a little bit of oil come through later on, which isn't horrible, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I'm going in with this Kosas blush, which ended up looking a little bit more peachy than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a little bit more mauve, a little bit like slightly more taupey. Sometimes I forget that I'm incredibly pale and things end up looking a lot more saturated on me. So I'm going in with my sponge, that I applied my powder with just to really, really soften it. Because I wanted some flush on the cheek, but not, like, we're not going for Sabrina Carpenter. You know what I mean? Like, this is Charli. I love this liner from LH Cosmetics. This is, I don't know what it's called, taupe something, but it's a beautiful taupe color, and it's great for my coloring. If you are lighter in coloring, if you have like taupe coloring, taupe eyebrows, blonde hair, this is a really, really good like everyday eyeliner. So I'm really starting to build up the eye look with this. Think of this as like our contour shaping. This is like my initial sort of like underpainting of the eyes, because I wanted this to like, again, I wanted to have Charli's vibe, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't building up dark colors too quickly on me because I'm so much lighter. Now, obviously she has light skin, but her hair, her eyes, her eyebrows, they're much darker than mine. So again, it's just about like kind of, you know, tweaking little things so that it really ends up being flattering on you. So I'm creating her nice lifted cat eye kind of liner. It's sort of grungy, it's sort of smudged. It's not like perfectly blended or whatever. I would say like if you look at our eyes, my eyelid is slightly more hooded. So the shape that I created was is slightly different. Hers comes up a little bit higher on her eye. It gives it just like a little bit more of that lift, but I feel like I was able to create the effect, but for my eye shape, what worked for me. If you're not able to take it up like that, take it out straight. You can really like adjust all of these little things for you in particular, you know? So obviously I'm just slowly going back and forth with that pencil, building it up, making it a little bit smoky, smudging it a little bit, making it a little bit messy, building up that wing. And then I am going to amplify with a darker pencil. But I'm going to be using a really, really small amount. So take your time. Again, I know it can be a little bit time consuming, but if you're trying to achieve a certain makeup look, technique and time, dude, it's what you got. It's all you got. You know what I mean? You got to take the time. You got to practice. It's one of my favorite things. And if you love makeup, it's probably one of yours. So I'm picking up a little bit of that pencil on my brush, on a small rougher brush, just to kind of like build up above, because I felt like because of my hooded lids, slightly hooded lids, it was just coming down a little bit. So I just wanted to build a little bit more up there to push that back in space and give like a slight lift to that section between my lash line and my eyebrow. I'm going in with this Kosas liner. This is like a dark brown. And I'm starting off with my waterline on the top, and then I'm going to slowly, very, very slowly, start to kind of like fill in that wing to create a little bit more depth to it. I love these eyeliners. They're so easy to use. Very, very creamy, very tiny. They also have the little sharpener on the bottom, which is fabulous. I love. If a pencil doesn't have that, I'm always like, what are we doing here? Also giving my eyes like a teeny little bit of a, you know, sharper inner corner. Not bad to have the rounded inner corner. In fact, the other day I was looking at photos of Alexa Demi, cause Queen, and she has rounded inner corners like I do. So, you know, gorgeous. It's gorgeous. You don't have to do the fox eye thing, but we're doing Charli today. So just slowly blending this, building it up, making it look messy, taking my time. You know, there's something to be said. Listen. If you want to just like go in with a black pencil and smudge it with your finger, you know what I mean? You can absolutely do that. That's not my style. That's not my vibe. I like to take my time. I like to build with different products. Sometimes there are looks where it's like, you don't necessarily need to take the time. So just keep that in mind. If you're someone who doesn't want to spend a ton of time on your makeup, you can do your eyes first so that you can clean up and then go in, you know, with your base. It'll probably go a lot faster. And depending on your coloring, you don't need to use all of these different eye products. You could just go in with black, or you could just go in with brown, or you could just go in with a taupe. So, you know, I don't know. I feel like I'm always a PSA for like, do your makeup for you. But I really I love this shape, and I love the layers of these colors. I feel like they all come together really beautifully to just like frame my eyes and make my eye color pop, and make my eyes pop without looking too tiny, you know? Sometimes when you put like darker colors in your waterline, especially if you're someone who has small eyes, it can end up looking just really, really small. So actually, speaking of, if there are any people who happen to have small eyes who want tips for how to make your eyes look bigger, please let me know. I'm happy to do that. My Hindash Beautopsy, this is one of my favorite palettes in the entire world. Like, I think it might be my most used eyeshadow palette ever. Just mixing between that brown and that gray like you saw, and I'm going in and setting and just kind of smudging, adding a little, once again, a little bit more depth, a little bit more like softness, the tiniest amounts. You can hardly see that I'm even putting anything up there with this brush, but I am. Just the teeniest amounts, slowly building. And then buffing into that winged liner, which is just going to soften it a little bit and make it not look like so like too grungy. It's up to you. Like, you want to leave it messy, leave it messy. I feel like I achieved a really nice balance between the two. Using my soap to set my brows. This is my Pears soap. I took a little break from it and now I'm back to it and I'm like, oh, girl, the Pears soap truly just holds my brows in place. It really just does. And again, I'm using this reference for her eyebrows and I feel like I totally nailed it. I'm actually very proud of myself for these eyebrows. I really feel like I got it. Yeah, I don't know. If you have a very difficult brows like I do, if they're very straight, if they like will not hold, give Pears soap a try. It's nice because it's got that kind of like warm yellowy color, but it's still like translucent a little bit. So it ends up not looking like super white on your hairs, unless maybe you have much deeper like coloring, then you might want to avoid it. It might be too white looking on your skin. Curling my lashes, obviously. Rougher lash curler, favorite lash curler. People all ask me all the time. And I've been loving this new L'Oreal mascara. I got it. This is the Blackest Black, I think. Love it. It's so good. I think I used it in another video, which I think is up. It's so good. It like really, it's not waterproof, but it stays on and it really holds your lashes. I wanted to emulate her look and I wasn't entirely sure if she was wearing lashes, but I figured I wouldn't because it just feels more Charli to just kind of like pull them to the side, make them a little bit more angled. Obviously got to hit the lower lashes, but I wasn't trying to like build them up too much. I just wanted like a hint. Like this look isn't all about lashes. It's much more about the liner. You know what I mean? It's about the shape of the eye. Now, final touches on the eyebrows, going in with NYX. This is the black, gray black color. So you can see it's a much darker color. So I'm using a very light hand, but this is one of my faves because it's such a cool toned color and it's really great for drawing in, especially if I use a slightly warmer brow pencil. Really great for layering on top of that. Just creates such a like really natural look and beautiful depth to the eyebrows. So just filling in those sparse areas, especially at the tail and at the arch, to create a little bit more of that framing. And then extending the tail a little bit. And again, I was just so happy with the brows. I was like, damn, I feel like I got her eyebrows. Like, I just feel like I nailed that. Okay, setting my face with the Delba setting, I keep saying setting mist. Spray serum, Patrick Toffan coming in clutch as always. For my highlights, I'm going to be using this Rare Beauty highlighter. I love the liquid, is it liquid luminizer? I'm going to be placing this in my inner corner. I'm going to be using this kind of like all over the face because especially in this image, she has this really beautiful, like natural looking glow. It almost looks like sweat. You know what I mean? But like in the best way possible. It looks like a natural dew. So I'm placing this in my inner corner. I'm going to be placing this on the eyelid. Obviously, I'm going to use it on my cheekbones, on all the high points of the face. I didn't build it up too much because this is a pretty intense highlighter. Like if you use a lot, it is intense, like it is foiled. Okay, so I'm using small amounts. That's why I'm using this small, very like fluffy little brush from Sigma. I love this little brush. It's really great, just to create like these really beautiful natural looking highlights, which just I feel like juxtaposed with the kind of like grungy liner, it softens the look. It makes it look a little bit more like pretty, you know. For my lips, I'm using this liner from, I think it's Tower 28. My computer's so far away right now when I do voiceovers. Obviously, again, everything will be linked down below. Also, if you just weren't aware, everything is linked in the YouTube shop. If there are products that aren't like available in the YouTube shop links, then I link those in the description box. Just in case you're looking for something. And I pretty much always link everything unless I forget. So this liner was really beautiful, but it was a little bit more like saturated than what I wanted. So I'm really softening it. And then I am going to be going in with something a little bit more like cool toned to do a little bit more shaping. Is this Makeup Forever or is this MAC? Again, it'll be linked. So just going in and like refining those lips, because she does, especially in this image, have like contoured lips. Like she's got the lips and the eyes, you know what I mean? Those are really the focus. So going in and doing a little bit of contouring there, but once again going in with my Refer, I think it's a 21 brush, and really softening around that so that it's not like ridiculously harsh. I don't want those lines. Which is just, it's going to look a lot prettier. It's going to look a lot softer. It's going to look, it's more effort, but it's going to look less like you put effort into it. Then I'm going in with this lipstick from Lawless Cosmetics, which I recently picked up because I am currently looking for my perfect lipstick color. This is a project that I'm going through right now. This color was great. It was beautiful, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. So I decided, okay, I feel like it's a nice base. I'm going to cover the lips. I'm going to blend into that lip liner, but then I am going to go in with like the teeniest amount of concealer, which is what I'm doing here. Concealer or foundation, I can't remember, just to lighten it up, just to really like get that Charli nude lip, which I feel like we achieved the vibe, but it's still like flattering for my skin tone because I'm a little bit more warm than her. And then I'm setting around the edges with a little bit of setting powder, just so that I hate when it looks like shiny, when my lip liner looks shiny, because you can tell that I've overlined. So this is the finished look, you guys. How do we feel? What do you think? I felt like a badass after doing it. Like I love it. I love it so much. It's such a great shape. It's really beautiful. Charli slayed at the Grammys. That dress, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. Please let me know if there are any other celebrity looks you want me to recreate, because that is one of my favorite things, I will say. And tell me what you think of the background, please. I'll see you soon, dudes. Bye.